as the stars.
Right.
And my job is to showcase them and show them in the best light, not to show me in the best light.
And take a step back and go, actually, this is, which,
Well, it goes back to the same style that you and I interview with, to where, you listen. And then who knows where that's going to take you.
Right.
And it's so much more fun that way, having a conversation instead of a rote interview that's just questions.
It's just, I'm not good with, like, I like a little bit of structure to know, like, I like to know I'm going to get from A to B, but in terms of the journey between there, we'll figure that out.
I'm the same way. You know, the only thing I've had to watch, I'm sure you've gotten to with some artists, to where it's like the PR people will say, whatever you do, don't bring this up. And then inevitably the artist will bring it up. And I'm like going,
full circle, let's go.
It's like, it wasn't me, because I'm just not one of those, and I know you're not either. I'm not one of those interviewers that's going to hang people out to dry.
Yeah.
Because I don't want to be hung out to dry.
Yeah.
So, I want them to come back on the show and tell their friends, yeah, we had a great interview.
Yeah. I've had a couple where people have been like, actually, can we just cut that little bit? And I'm like, I got you. Like, we're there. Like, I'm not,
Totally.
I want everyone to know that if they're going to come in, we're going to leave with something that people are maybe not going to love. I don't know, hopefully. But
I think they do.
The artist can go and be like, you know what, that was fun. I enjoyed it, and like have no other concerns about then saying, hey, like, I went on this podcast, like, you guys should go in.
Well,
like,
and I think that's,
I
think for both of us, certainly how, and you work in the CMA Fest so hard, but how you get those, big artists, but also, you and I have a good eye and ear for the up and comers. And so I think it's fun to listen to the music, listen to the singles, and go, okay, they're going to blow up in the next year, 2 years. And like you said, they've got their head on straight, they're songwriting, they're performing, they're doing it for the right reasons. And to have those people on the show, and then years down the road, it's like, okay, you've got your Grammy now, you've got your Dove,
that's it.
CMA, ACM Awards. I think it's just more fun then. To catch them early, and certainly, we have to have a certain
everyone started there.
And we've got to have a certain number of big names, because that's for TV too. It's like that's the only way I get to keep doing the show.
Right.
If I don't have A-listers every once in a while, and a lot of the people in the newsroom are younger than me, and so they don't know a lot of the classic rock or classic country bands, and they're going, who? But you have somebody big on that's now, like Carly Pearce. They're like, oh yeah, Carly Pearce.
Right.
It's like, there's other artists too. It's like,
Is there?
Yeah, a couple, just a couple, just a few, but I think that's why it's fun to have the legends on, because, unfortunately, and certainly with radio, and not as much with streaming, because streaming is, on demand, but with radio in the past, they kind of, whatever is new and fresh, the newest artist in country music, and I think that's across the world, to where a lot of the classic artists that are still creating music, like with Jeannie Seely, Bill Anderson, Tracy Lawrence, Trace Adkins, so many of them that are legends, don't get the attention or the airplay. Even when George Jones was alive, he would talk about that, that he had all these hits, but he was not getting airplay.
Right. Yeah, because they're not relevant, despite the fact these are all the people that paved the way for all the music we have on now.
Yes.
And but I mean, I don't know. It's weird, because I think if you're in the industry, you see it, but as a consumer, that's where there is just a huge difference. And that's nothing against the people that are listening to it, but just if you don't have that mindset, if someone is not in the forefront, you're not listening to a song going, oh, well, I wonder if this person was influenced by blah, 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 blah.
Right.
I will say, over CMA Fest, I got the chance to see Zach Top live.
Oh, yeah.
Like, blown away.
Yep.
And that is a kid that, you don't need to ask his influences. I mean, he is doing full-on early 90s country at its finest.
Which is great.
And maybe, I feel like if we had more people maybe going down that vein, he's kind of bringing the attention back to those people that paved that way. I mean, sounds like the radio, it's got like nods to Alan Jackson.
Oh, totally.
There's Pickup Man vibes.
Oh my gosh, yeah, with Joe Diffie.
It is, I mean, like, that sort of stuff helps, but for the most part, I mean, country is not what it was back then.
No.
But
I think it's also, though, like you're saying, though, too, Amy, it's nice when they give a nod to it. It's like I was following Priscilla Block for a while before she really exploded.
Yeah.
And then I noticed this last week, she's giving a nod to like Tracy Lawrence, and so it's like, to me, that's nice because like you brought up Alan Jackson, he's on his farewell tour.
Right.
And so you've got, a lot of these artists that are not going to be out touring. So who's doing that style of music? It's like...
It's got to be well, I guess it doesn't have to be a revival, but it would be nice.
But at least I think the influences, yes. Like you put it, like Judy Pastor I had on a month or so ago, and her new album, I could really hear Joni Mitchell.
Nice.
And I told her that. I'm like going, and it's like going, oh my gosh, that's one of my influences. It's like going... But it's nice to, but it's not mimicking or copying those artists.
Just drawing from it.
Right. And I think that's powerful.
I think it's starting to happen a little more. I think we're getting a generation of artists coming up that have more of an appreciation for the stuff that came before.
I agree. And I think the CMA Fest this past, week and everything like that too really did a good job. I liked it that there were more stages.
Yes.
And so everybody had something they could go to and do and see artists. And I know a lot of my friends, a lot of your friends were playing a lot of the stages. And I like seeing that.
Yeah.
Because...
What I'm saying, it's the 4 days out of the rest of the year that everyone's schedules finally align.
Right.
Because, 9 times out of 10 people are out on the road. And,
oh, yeah.
This person's in California, this person's down in Florida. Like, this... And you never actually see each other. And then all of a sudden, everyone can just be like, you know what, actually, I'm going to come see you play. Like, I'm playing over here. And it's nice. It's like a nice little reunion.
I think it's amazing. But once again, it's one of the cool things about our city is that we have that opportunity. I mean, and I know it's the same with you. I get invited to some kind of release show every night.
Right.
And you have to kind of pick and choose. And some of my favorites, to be honest, are the songwriter ones. I kind of like the listening rooms, whether you go to the listening room or you go to, the Commodore or all the different ones we have around town. I like that. Yeah. I like to hear the stripped down, just with a guitar and the vocals.
And you also hear where the song comes from. There's something to be said about that stripped down version against, a big production is great and Definitely. It sounds phenomenal. But sometimes it's just nice to pull all that back.
Yeah.
And go, actually.
And it's so humbling. I mean, and I know you write as well, and so do I. But it's like, it's funny to where I'll go out and play a songwriter round, and I'm more nervous than playing a live gig. Because a live gig is like, I got, been playing guitar since I was 5. It's like, that's not a problem. But it's like, but when you're sitting next to somebody who's written 10 songs for Tim McGraw, it's like going,
you're like,
and here's my little Eric Dahl song. Dun, da, da. It's very humbling, but I always enjoy it. I mean, I always feel better after I've done it, but the build up to it, I'm so nervous and I'm practicing my originals. Yeah. And it's funny. It's like, if you ask me to play a cover of Leonard Skinner, it's like, yeah, just hand me the guitar.
Right. Like we'll just
but then he'd say, hey, can you play one of your originals? Eric? I was like,
wait, do I do that one?
And it seems like it should be the opposite, but it's just not because I just overthink
There's so
it.
much more, but it's more personal, right?
It is. I think you're bearing your soul.
Right. You can disassociate when you're playing other people's songs because it's just, this is how it's played. There's no,
right.
You just.
But when you're doing your song, you're really showing the true you. And I think that's
vulnerable. It's that vulnerability that most people are not good with.
No. And I think that's why some artists, like we were talking to, are concerned about interviews. To where they're afraid something will come out bad. And it's like going, we're not those kind of interviewers.
And if something, for whatever reason, does sound a little sketchy, I'm not going to, we're not going to leave it in.
The main thing I have to do, I think, on our TV ones, obviously, is to where sometimes the artists or bands get so relaxed, they start dropping curse words. And then we get done with the interview, and I tell my producers, like, you guys are going to have to edit that a lot.
Yeah, we're just going to...
You just every time you hear a certain word, take that out.
Just know we've got.
Yeah, and it's like, and you just never know until you're in the middle of it. I mean, and
once you go in, you can't just.
Oh, you can't back out. I mean, it's like being on a roller coaster. Once you're on, they're not stopping it.
Right.
You just hold on and go, well, we're on this till the end.
Right. It's the fun of it. That's what makes it fun.
It is.
So as well as doing all your TV stuff, we also talk about you write as well. So you do a lot of writing. You used to do stuff you still do stuff in the UK.
Yeah.
So you got a few different publications that you work with.
Definitely. Yeah. It's fun, writing, articles. And I started writing early on, in high school and all through college and all that stuff. I just always enjoy it. I think, just like you and I writing songs, great way to express yourself. And so, I started writing for magazines. I guess Maverick Country was the first one in the UK, and I wrote for them for a decade. And that was a lot of fun, doing music gear coverage, also interviewing artists, Aaron Lewis and a lot of artists, and Charlie Daniels, over the years for Maverick Country, and then worship musician here in the States. And then now I've written for so many different, I wrote for American Songwriter for a while, which was a blast. And, but now I'm writing for worship musician, guitar.com out of the UK, and then Guitar Thrills out of Tampa. And so they send me the music gear in, and I get to play it for a month, 2 months, whatever, and write reviews on it. It's so much fun. I get take out the guitars and play them, and the pedals and accessories. And all my friends are like, "Hey, what did you think of this?" So it's like, well, I just had that in. I can tell you what if you're looking for that pedal, that amp. So to me, it feeds the gear angle that I've always had. And certainly from when I was living in Vegas, and that's where my book thing happened. Was I was living out there in Las Vegas doing TV during the day, and then I was playing gigs at night and playing church on Sunday, which is kind of that whole weird balance, kind of like Nashville. And I was the value guy for the pawn shops. So they would, like George Gruen and Walter Carter are here in Nashville. I was like that. And I accidentally ended up buying B.B. King's Stolen Lucille back in 2009, I guess it was. Goodness. Yeah, at a pawn shop. And I was trying to figure it out, and I didn't know it was stolen, obviously, when I bought it. And at the time, it was the most I'd ever paid for a guitar. So I had to call my ex-wife at the time and go, if I buy this, I can still come home, right? And she was like, yeah, you know what you're doing with guitars. But it ended up, it was Lucille. It was an 80th birthday Lucille Prototype 1 that Gibson had given to Mr. King for his 80th birthday. And one of his people had stolen it and hawked it to the pawn shop, the Easy Pawn on Rainbow in Las Vegas. I accidentally bought it, and so I was researching it for like 2.5 months, and finally Pat Foley from Gibson calls me up and goes, "Hey, Mr. Dahl, we understand, you have a B.B. King Lucille guitar." I'm like, "You're not helping me. I got 3 of those in my guitar room." He goes, "Well, no, the one you have is Mr. King's 80th birthday present that we gave him, and he'd like it back." And I'm like, he almost dropped the phone. It's like, what? Is this are you pranking me? Is this Ashton Kutcher? It's like, and it ends up so... after talking to Gibson, and they were like, "Well, how much is it going to cost?" I wouldn't take money. And I said, "No, it's a stolen instrument." And they're like, "Well, Mr. King's people want to speak to you now." So then Tina from his management called me, and same thing. Everybody's got their checkbook open. "How much money do you want?" "I'm not taking money. It's a stolen instrument." They're like, "Well, what do you want in exchange?" It's like, "Well, I'd like a replacement Lucille, since this is the most I've ever paid for a guitar in my life." And it was like, "Well, BB wants to meet you now." And so BB was living there in Vegas, and so he had come off tour, and he was recording with Joe Bonamassa, who lives here in Nashville now as well. And so he had to leave the studio session, come to his office, and meet me, and I returned his stolen guitar. And that was the only Lucille he played from 2009 to 2014. And he gave me a Lucille, signed it for me, thanked me, gave me a book, gave me guitar picks, T-shirts and everything, and it ended up allowing me to write a book about his Lucilles. Wow. So I started that in Vegas, and then I finished it here in Nashville in 2013, B.B. King's Lucille and the Loves Before Her. And it was fun. It was one of those strange life things. Right. And I took a photographer with me, when I returned Mr. King's guitar. He was almost in tears. It was like we were sitting this close, and the Lucille was in between us, and I'm like handing it to him. And you would have thought I gave him $1 million, but the guitar sold in 2019 for $198,000. The estate sold it. Yeah, and to a private collector. So it didn't go to a museum, because they have a number of his guitars in Indianola, Mississippi, at the Delta Museum down there, this Delta and B.B. King. And then I came out with the second book on his guitars in 2020, expanded chapters. I had J.C. Curley in it, and then Charlie Daniels wrote the open for me for that one. So it's got the Charlie Daniels open, because they were friends. And that was one of those silly stories for you and I, to where I was interviewing Charlie, and we started talking about B.B. King, and Charlie goes, "Well, I need a copy of your book, Eric." I'm like, "Okay, well, I'll get a copy. I'll sign it for you. I'll send it over." He said, "And then I owe you thumb picks." I'm like, "Okay, Charlie Daniels thumb picks. You can't go wrong with that." 2 years later, Amy, I see him, and I'm ever at Losers getting ready to interview him about a new album, and he's hollering at me from across the bar going, "Eric Dahl, I owe you picks." I'm like going, number one, how does Charlie Daniels know my name? Number two, how does he remember that he
Right.
told me he was going to give me
That's
picks?
funny.
And so he gives me like all these thumb picks, and his tour guys, you know, his other guitarist, Dave, is like going, you know, Charlie, we're going to need a few to play with. He's like, just take care of Eric. He needs thumb picks.
That's funny.
It's just those crazy moments. But yeah, those are the two books, you know, I've got out now, the two B.B. King books. And then I'm working on a third one,
Okay.
which I need to buckle down on. Jerry Reed's daughters gave me permission to write a book on Jerry.
Nice.
So I started on it. I just need to spend more time on it in between sleeping and eating and doing the daytime job. And, you know,
We don't have any spare time.
there's not a lot of sleep. Yeah,
not.
but I really want to get working on this, though, because, you know, I'm such a fan of Jerry Reed and his music. And I think a lot of people, particularly the younger generation, only know Jerry for his movies. Mm-hmm. You know, The Waterboy and all these different movies, certainly his movies with Burt Reynolds. But I always knew him as a musician.
Right.
And a great player. And also, I mean, Chet Atkins acknowledged Jerry, you know, as a certified guitar player, just like Tommy Emmanuel, but also one of his favorite guitarists.
Right. Yeah, if I hear, I mean, I'm in Nashville, so it makes sense. Like if I hear Jerry Reed, I'm going straight to musician.
Right. And so I think, you know, I've started on it. I need to put some more work into it and really get it going. And I'm also going to interview some of his friends that are still alive, thank goodness, like Ray Stevens.
Right.
Because Ray came here with him, and it's hard to believe, you know, Ray's 85 and still doing cabaret
Yep.
out towards Bellevue. And then, you know, and last time I interviewed Ray, I'm like, well, what are you going to do next? He's like, I think I'm going to start touring again after this year. It's like, well, of course, because you're Ray Stevens.
Right. Like, what else would you do?
Yeah. But have you been to that venue out there?
I have.
Is that
yeah.
beautiful?
It's gorgeous.
It's like a Las Vegas showroom. It's nothing like his Branson
I
showroom.
think I'm trying to remember. I went there for something with Brooks and Dunn.
It's
was
beautiful
like
out there.
It was Ray was speaking with them and like a few others.
Oh,
It was
wow.
I can't remember what the event was, but it was, yeah, we all had like group photos and stuff.
Oh, that's
and
great.
But for the life of me, couldn't tell you,
It's so
what
neat
the
out
event
there.
was. It's a really cool venue.
It is.
And it's so like, because you've got the Walmart there on the corner, like
Yes.
you've got all of that, and then you go up the hill and there's just, you're like, where?
And then all the parking, because they've got it to, you know, Ray designed it so you could
massive.
pull in buses.
Right, yeah, there's,
And it's got the two bars and everything. And
Mm-hmm.
then I love it when you walk around the room, the pictures of Ray with all these people and all the major producers, you know, like Owen Bradley and stuff like that. And it's like going, it's just crazy. And of course, Jerry Reed
right.
is up on the wall as well, along with Chet Atkins and all of these.
It's that history is insane.
Yeah. And I think that, you know, and I wish for you and I, the only thing I wish with Nashville is that there was more of that music row scene still. I would have liked to have been here more of that heyday.
And I feel like I missed out. I mean, age-wise as well, I feel like I just missed a lot. But also, you know, I only kind of came into the country scene like mid-2000s.
Right.
I didn't come to Nashville until 2009.
Yeah.
And then I've been here for 5 years, and I feel like I feel like I came kind of at that turning point for everything. I would have loved nothing more than to have been able to soak up Nashville in like the 80s and 90s.
Oh, me too.
But you know what? It is what it is, and I love this place.
I do too.
So it's still got an incredible draw for people.
Definitely. And there's still a lot of hidden secrets. I mean, just, you know, like Crystal Gale's studio over there on Music Row. And I mean, you know, like you and I were talking too, with all the home studios here, it's like everybody has a home studio here. It's like going, yeah, I've got a bathtub and a home studio.
Yeah.
And it's like going, oh, okay. And it's like, and it's not like you would think, you know, like it's a laptop and a realistic microphone. I mean, they have studios. You know, like, yeah. And it's like, and you walk in and there's like gold records and pictures of them with all these stars. I'm like going, you didn't mention that.
Right.
You know, when, like I told you, when I went to Gordon Kennedy's house and he was not back on tour with Garth yet. And it's like, what the heck, Gordon?
Well, you figure it out when you walk in, right?
Right. Yeah. And all of a sudden then.
no one's going to brag about it.
No one's going to tell you.
So crazy.
No one's going to walk up and go, oh, by the way, I did this and this.
You just never know.
But I think the music here, and you brought up a good point too, to where a lot of the younger people coming up are acknowledging their influences, whether they were from their grandparents, their parents, whatever, and they're making it their own. And it's kind of cutting a new swath for country, because country is pop music now.
Yeah, it is.
There really is no pop. There's kind of rock, but it's like it's all kind of a big melting pot now.
With the exception, really, of like a handful of artists.
Yep.
Yeah, it's pop. It's pop with a country flair.
It is.
Point, which, don't get me wrong, I love, like
I do too.
4 nights of rock with a country flair. I mean, 4 nights at CMA, you had Jelly Roll headlining.
Right.
And Hardy on the last day.
Hardy's so good.
That was a rock show. It was,
totally.
But amazing.
Well, and Jelly Roll too, and Hardy, being local people, it's like they really had to refine their art, and then they make it, and Jelly Roll's like everywhere now.
Mm-hmm. You can't turn a corner without
No, and Hardy, and before I'd always heard of Hardy before he started performing and touring, he was always on the albums as a writer and all these kind of things, but now it's like, he's out there.
It seemed like he came out of nowhere, but actually, like, his name had been around for ages, just not as a performer. He
like
just got
underground.
to the point. Yeah.
And that's what everybody always jokes about, the 10-year town.
Yeah.
And it's like going, and you and I have certainly had, artists and bands on. It's like going, wow, you're an instant success. And everybody always jokes, yeah, it only took 10 years.
Right.
And it does, talking about like J.D. Simo or Guthrie Trapp and all these people that have played down on Broadway, and played at Tootsie's and in Robert's Western World, to where it took years of refining their craft. And
So
then...
actually, I think the only person that I can kind of think of, I mean, we've now kind of got that brand of the TikTok artists that are coming out.
Yeah, you're right.
And I think that's like Bailey Zimmerman, for example. I mean, like, he is like a little rocket when he's on stage. He's here, there, and everywhere.
Right.
I mean, he sounds great, but his journey was TikTok, and that took off so much quicker than, you could have ever, like, compared to everyone else in the town. I think he was kind of he's like 4 years in.
Yeah.
And he's playing on the main stage at CMA.
Yeah, and you just wonder, I wonder about it, and certainly, like an artist I had on today, Presley Tennant, to where, started out as a little kid and worked her way up and all this. But some of this, like almost instant stardom with TikTok, you wonder how it's going to work out for the long haul.
Yes.
Because the thing is, you and I both know, in 5 or 10 years, TikTok probably won't exist. There'll be a new social media platform called whatever, and so what's going to happen then? And also with the AI, certainly, you and I have both seen it, in the past month with Randy Travis.
Right, which I think it's funny because my day job, I work with a music label, and we were talking about it, and I know a lot of his team and who had, direct involvement in getting that AI track together. And it's like, this is probably the only scenario where it's acceptable, but it's still such a grey area.
It's opened Pandora's box.
Yeah,
and certainly with Randy, in his life situation, it makes sense.
It does.
But for other people will utilize it.
Where do you draw that line?
And I don't think there's going to be a line. And I think I think for artists, I certainly worry for songwriters, and songwriters have had a hard enough time with streaming, to where at least when the radio was huge, they'd make pennies per play.
Right.
Okay, that adds up. But when you're talking about tenths and tenths and tenths of pennies for every play, on Spotify or some digital platform, the songwriters, as you and I know around town, they're starving artists.
Right. Yeah, there's no money in it anymore.
No, unless you have multiple hit songs with a major A-list artist, you're not living on that.
Nope.
You're working multiple jobs, and I know older songwriters that have 2 or 3 roommates.
Right.
It's like I'm thinking,
and are driving Uber in their spare time.
Exactly.
Which is just, it's so crazy that's. I remember actually, you said about Charles Eston earlier, but with Nashville, the TV show,
right?
And I think it was in like the first season that Gunnar had the song cut and got like this check through for like $80,000 or something. And I remember sitting there and watching it, and I'm like, yeah, that used to happen.
Right.
But like in reality, what do you really have to do now to get a check of that?
Oh my gosh.
Like,
yeah, unless you're like Kenny Loggins and you have, Top Gun soundtrack,
Taylor Swift.
That's
it.
And I think there's not a lot of artists that are getting that. And even as a songwriter, and this is a co-write town.
Yes.
So, and a lot of huge artists like Pam Tillis and everything, and Charlie McCoy and so many co-write with people all the time. They have co-write sessions all week long. But then you're getting a percentage of the song.
Yeah.
So it's not even all yours.
So then that 200th of a cent that you're getting from
Mm-hmm.
someone hitting play on Spotify is then being split between 3 other people.
Right. Yeah. It's just like, Radney Foster, you may have 5-6 people on one song,
Yeah.
and so it gets cut down. And even if you have a Taylor Swift song, it's not enough to live on.
No.
You've got to have multiple Taylor
Yes.
Swift songs.
Well, because then it's not just the writers. Then if the writers have got publishing deals, and the publishers are taking their. There's a lot of fingers in the pie that need to be paid once a song gets cut, and those
it's crazy.
percentage of a cent does absolutely nothing.
Well, and it's once again, you and I living here in Nashville. I had the epiphany like last year. I took my daughter to some concert. I can't remember what it was, and the T-shirts. Basic T-shirt, $50. I'm like going, why is a country music star T-shirt $50? And I get it, 25 or 30. Well, and then it broke. One of the artists broke it down for me. It's like, well, Bridgestone gets a piece.
Yeah.
The management gets a piece. The artist gets a piece. The promoter gets a piece. So you got 4 or 5 people that are all getting a piece, and that's increasing how much it is.
And there's also the element of that's where they're making money now, because they're not making people, for the most part, are not buying records, at least not in the quantities that they used to.
Right.
Because instead of that, they're paying for, well, in the case of Spotify, not even necessarily paying for an account, because you can get a free account.
Right.
Which, again, is fine. I'm not like...
Yeah, but I mean, but it hurts the songwriters and artists.
It does. But then all of a sudden you've got your merch and stuff, and that's, well, now they also need to put it up because that's the only place they are really making their money.
Right. Between that and the tour.
Yeah, because it's crazy. I mean, 15 years ago, I would go to shows, like a T-shirt was like 10, 15.
Yes.
Well, I guess that was in pounds, but still it's probably the
Yeah,
same
but still,
in
it's
dollars.
like $20, $25. It's like, okay, you can live with that. But when you're talking about just a T-shirt for $50, it's like, wow.
Yeah. I used to get a tour T-shirt from every show that I went to. That was
Definitely.
like my thing. Mm-hmm. And I stopped. I'm like, I can't. I'm paying. Ticket prices have gone up,
Right.
which again, and I understand where everything's going up, but at the same time, I feel like I'm probably in the same boat as everyone else. So,
Right.
you're paying $80 for a ticket, but then you've got your fees and that. So you bought your ticket for $100.
Right.
Then you've got to get there, and depending on the venue, you might have to pay parking.
Definitely.
So call that another 20. You're at 120 before you've even gone there.
Before you got anything to drink
You get
or
a drink's
eat.
going to be $10, $15 for one drink.
Uh-huh.
By the time you buy merch on that, you're looking at $200 a person.
Easy.
And that's not. It's just not. It's not sustainable for people to be able to do it. I mean, with the Taylor Swift shows,
Right.
what were those tickets? Those
Oh,
tickets
my
were
gosh.
like 300.
Yeah, just ridiculous. And then fortunately for her, she's got a huge fan base.
And she played for a ridiculously long set. I see
amazing entertainer.
You got what you paid for with it, but also
you paid for it.
Yeah.
And then buy the merch and then take the Uber down or park and everything. It's like, it's a lot of money.
It is.
And like you said, I think it's so well put, Amy, it's not sustainable because, the average person, I would go to shows all the time, and it's like, now it's like, you're kind of selective.
Yeah.
Because, it's a lot of money. And I know also if I'm taking my daughter to one, she's going to want a T-shirt. Mm-hmm. So it's like, it's going to be 2 tickets, parking or Uber, and a T-shirt for her. And I'm going to have to feed her and buy her soda.
Yeah.
There you go.
All of a sudden.
Yeah, you're talking $200-$300 depending on the artist. But also that's the only place artists are making money.
Yeah.
Is by doing the touring and the merch.
It's like, it's such a hard line to try and walk because you don't, I feel like there are some shows at this point that you're just cutting out an entire section of your fan base.
Totally.
And that is frustrating. But also I realise it's not their fault because there's other issues within the industry that are causing having to make extra markups. Yeah,
and my favorite venues around town are the smaller ones. I mean, I love the Ryman for the sound quality. We were talking about, your guitar and Emmylou Harris who helped bring back the Ryman, thankfully. And then, First Bank, out in the Quarry. It's like...
I actually went and saw Incubus.
I saw Chicago
phenomenal.
out there last year.
Ooh.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a phenomenal venue. I feel like it's almost like a Tennessee Red Rocks. I feel
It is.
I think that was I feel like that was their
And they
intention.
got the lights up on the
rocks,
and the sound quality is so good. Now, driving in, driving out, not so much fun.
Yeah, I feel sorry for it. It's right in that residential area.
My gosh.
I would not want to live there, or I would want a massive payout
Yeah.
for them having
But I love seeing shows out there because I'm going to go to some this year.
Yeah.
And and we're fortunate to have so many great venues around town for artists, but they've got to play the gigs to make the money and to feed the band and to feed the machine.
By the time you split all that money up, you really it's not a whole lot left.
No, and as you know too, the labels are not what they once were. And so a lot of artists are independent, which, has its own thing.
I think a lot of that has come from COVID had its pros and its cons in the music industry. But I think one of the biggest negatives from it was all of a sudden labels realised they don't have to do the work anymore. Hang on a minute, take Bailey. We've got this kid who's just decided to go on TikTok and play some songs. Well, now he's got millions of followers.
Right.
And we haven't spent a penny.
No.
So why would we go back to spending all this money out on A&R when clearly people who really want it, they're going to do it themselves. And it's
I think the only thing I see that's hard with it though, with some of the artists is some of the huge social media artists do not translate into attending the shows and the stage. And it's like going, because they have an audience that is within
behind a camera sitting in their bedroom playing a guitar.
Yeah.
Where's the...
Right. But then it's like, and I'm sure you've interviewed some too, where it's like, and then you interview them and it's like going, okay, we need some depth here. We need some talking points.
Yeah.
And for them to go out and play shows and be on tour, to where, okay, they've got a social media following, but you got to get butts and seats.
Right. And that's where, being an artist and really, cutting your teeth in the bars makes a big difference,
Yeah. Well, look at Daniel Donato, with his Cosmic Country. And I met him when he was a teenager, he directed me how to get to a guitar show. And it's like going, and now Daniel is all over the country.
Yeah.
And doing great things, but he earned it. He did his time down at Robert's Western World, playing thousands of hours.
The best bar on Broadway.
It is. It's so funny. And once again, you can tell you're a local because that's one of those places I always send people. They're like, where's the best music on Broadway? I'm like, Robert's. Yeah. Because you're always going to see and hear incredible talent there. Yeah. But also, I think we get spoiled, even, non-CMA Fest time. It's like when I've been walking up and down Broadway when I was doing my radio show down at Acme Feed and Seed years ago. And it's like, we just get spoiled with the caliber of artist here. And then you'll go to another city and go, okay, well, I want to tune their guitar and they're singing flat. And then here it's like, we just get spoiled.
Yeah. Even you could go to a festival, an independent local festival,
right,
where you would just assume, well, this is a festival, right? These are bars. There's not even a comparison.
No.
A bar gig in Nashville is already heads and tails above most of what you would see at a paid. Yeah. It's insane.
Yeah, but it's so fun. It's always funny to me too, to where you go to one of those, it's like going, well, yeah, I'm gonna play a little song, and you might have heard, such and such. It's on the radio now. Well, of course it is.
Right.
And they're playing it.
Well, I was talking to my friend the other day that me and my friends, we try and do a night out once a month, and normally we will end up down Broadway. And my friend is absolutely obsessed with Kaylee Green. Kaylee Green is a local artist in Nashville. She plays the bars. She plays the stage. She plays Dirk's place now a lot, I think. But correct me if I'm wrong. Pretty sure she was playing down. She's now just got signed to Sony because she was playing downtown, and a little unknown name of Keith Urban may have walked in and heard her play. And
it's like that. It's that story. It's that story that everybody hopes for, and it's like, and and I always tell artists,
not that far fetched.
No, it's not that far fetched, but but people move from their tiny little town across the country, and it's like going, yeah, I'm going to come here and be discovered, and it's like going, it's like the 1% club.
Yep.
And it happens, but it's the 1% club, and it's still. Like with her, to where putting in the time.
Yeah, she's worked.
Yeah, and then you get discovered or something. But it's like, I just think a lot of artists And I always joke too, and I'm sure it's the same with to where somebody is like, well, all of my friends and family say I'm amazing and all this. It's like going, well, in Indiana, you're amazing,
Right.
and in Nashville, you're okay.
Exactly.
It's just that disparity to where
you can be the biggest star in your hometown.
When I moved here, it's like I found it. It was humbling, coming from a little town in Missouri. It's like, oh, I was considered a pretty hot player and all that stuff. You get here, it's like going, could I carry your case? It's like that reality, and I think some people can deal with it and get better,
and other people will just
crumble and have to leave.
Yeah, it definitely goes one of two ways. I think you either take that and go, okay, you know what, maybe I'm not there yet, but I'm gonna go play with these people, right? And then all of a sudden, that you can just roll, and it
ups your game. But that's also, like on Roberts and so many places down Broadway, it's like just the level of players that you will see to where, it's nothing odd to pop in and go, oh, look, Vince Gill's sitting in. Okay, well, it's like there it is
again,
and he's destroying the Telecaster,
right? Because
he can.
Well, I mean, and a lot of people do it when they a lot of big artists when they come into town, they'll have their shows, and after the show, let's go to Tootsie's.
Right.
I know that James Taylor was in town and just sat in. I remember one night.
I'm such a James Taylor fan.
I love him. He's actually playing tomorrow night.
Dang. My daughter's named after him. Her name is Taylor because of James Taylor.
I love it. I love him. I've seen him maybe 12 or 13
Oh my
times.
gosh. Yeah, I think you got me beat. I've seen him a lot, but you beat me.
I went to Tanglewood to go see him in his hometown show.
My gosh.
That was pretty awesome. But I remember sitting at home one night, and all of a sudden my phone is blowing up with Facebook Lives, and Vince Gill was out with the Eagles. So the Time Jumpers are playing.
Right.
And James Taylor's in town and just goes and sits in with the Time Jumpers. And I've got all these friends that are at the show. And I'm like...
It's just so... it's some of it is surreal sometimes.
It's insane.
Yeah, to where, the level of those artists, and just like with John Oates, from Hall & Oates, plays with the Time Jumpers from time to time and records around town, lives here now. And so that's what you're competing with as much as yourself.
Yeah.
Is are you that good? Are your songs that good? Is you're playing that strong? Or do you need to work at it more?
Right.
And I think that's hard for some artists.
Yeah. Because I feel like human nature, no one wants to admit they're wrong in the same way no one wants to admit that they're not as good as they think.
Right.
It's that same mentality.
It's an ego blow.
Of you don't want to, you walk into town with all these ideals of I've got this, I'm going to get out, I'm going to play, and then you're like, oh, yeah, maybe I can.
And you and I were talking to where, Amy, it's a small circle too. There's a lot of people know each other.
Yes.
And so you have to be able to move within that circle and not be a problem. Jeff King one time, I was kidding him about, it's like, man, you play with Reba, you play with all these great artists. I said, your guitar playing just amazing. He goes, I'm a pretty good guitarist. I'm a really good hang. And he said, that's what it matters. It's like, are you a good hang?
I mean, it's true.
Can you blend in with people?
You can be the best museum.
Yeah.
You can tell this is after CMA Fest. You can be the best musician, the best vocalist, but if you can't get on with people and people don't enjoy spending time, because at the end of the day, you might start off at bars and doing that, but the goal for everyone is to make music full time. And making music full time means touring, and touring means buses.
Right.
And it doesn't matter how nice you are. Having to spend hours upon hours of time, even with people you like, on a cramped bus, is really not as glamorous or as fun as it sounds.
Because everybody always just sees the stage time.
Yeah. And
they don't see the bus time or the not so good hotel and the not so good food at Waffle House again. They just see, they're on stage. They're playing the Bridgestone.
Exactly. So if you're even, if anyone can even remotely be like, this person's going to be a problem.
And then but it's so true because I was interviewing John Cowan recently, and he was, the voice of the New Grass Revival, but he's out on tour with the Doobie Brothers. and then the Doobies are also playing with the Eagles, and so whenever they're together, him and Vince are hanging out,
right,
and telling each other jokes.
I love it.
And so John's a great hang, and it's like being able to move within those circles and just get along with people.
Yeah.
And I think sometimes that's also what implodes so many bands. The egos come into play. No matter how great the music, no matter how great the catalog, eventually it's like you're in your own bus now.
Yeah,
because we're not riding in a bus together.
Right.
And you wonder, I mean, it's hard enough to get along with our families, much less with other musicians. It's like,
Yeah, no, it's a lot. It's definitely not as glamorous as people think.
But and there's part, I mean, and once again, you brought up Taylor Swift. I mean, you look at somebody, an artist, that her dad brought her here, and the career that she's made for herself, and the entertainer, and now not only country and pop music and all this stuff, but she affects our entire economy.
Oh yeah,
music artist.
Who'd have thought it?
You're right.
And like way back when she released what Tim McGraw was the first single, I think. Right.
Yeah. It's like and obviously she's close with Tim and Faith.
Yeah.
But to be an artist that is so huge that you affect world economies.
There will probably never be another Taylor.
No, I mean, that's her tours, her catalog.
Yeah, she's in
her merch.
She's in Europe now. I mean, like I have friends who are literally they are flying around Europe to go to her shows. Well, there's hotel chains, the airlines,
the food,
the
beverages, the merch.
They're all,
I mean, that's powerful, but there aren't many artists of that level.
I don't think there's right now. Right now, I think she is it.
I'd say I would put probably like her and Beyonce, maybe Jay-Z, like those. I mean, those.
Maybe. I don't even think. I feel like.
But she's the top.
Yeah, she's.
It's wackiness, but also that she got her start here in Nashville.
It's the place to be.
Yeah,
it is the place to be.
I know, but also we were talking about like Priscilla Block, to where Taylor Swift was driving by. And Priscilla Block was working at a yogurt shop and walks out and has a Taylor Swift shirt on. And Taylor's like going, nice shirt.
So crazy.
That's Nashville, though.
Yep, it is.
I mean, it's just that weird fun factor. But also, I think it's such a fertile creative area.
Yeah.
To where there's no place else that you have this many songwriters and musicians and artists all in one pool. Right. And
even
just
from
amazing.
A media standpoint,
like,
because it's still, this all falls under that creative umbrella, and to be surrounded by so much of it, I feel like it makes our job easier.
It does,
because I feel like you get a better, well-rounded, like you get a better overview of what the industry is, what it's like to be in the industry, even though we're not, like even though we're not on tour every weekend. Because everyone knows everyone, there's so many. You get snippets from like everywhere, and
it's true. And I mean, I think that when they come home, the artists and musicians and they're so thankful to be home. Just to have a break from the road.
Where's my bed?
Yeah, have their own bed. See the dog, see the kids. Go out to the local Mexican restaurant and just be. And I think that's why we see them around a lot in town, because when they are off the road and not having to do what they do for a living,
they want to enjoy it.
They want to enjoy it, and they love performing and all that stuff. But and once again, that's why a lot of them will hit the down Broadway circuit once in a while. They got a buddy that's playing down there.
Right. So we're just going to go hang out.
Yeah, we're just going to drop in. They're probably not even dropping into play. And it's like going, hey, you're down here. You want to hop up on stage?
Right. Yeah. I remember it was before I moved here. But I was in Midtown back when Midtown was actually just locals.
Right. Oh, totally.
And I go out and Blake and Miranda were just hanging out in the bar. And it blew my mind, because I think that was like the second year I'd been here and I'd heard about it, like I come to Music City. I'm like, I know that people hang out, but I walk up the step to, I don't remember if it was Winners or Losers. And I just walk up the steps and I'm like, wait, what? And then I end up in this whole conversation with them, and I'm like, what is, at that time, I think I was 21 at the time, and I was just like, what is my life right now?
Yeah.
I like walked away, and I think it was the day after they'd got engaged. So like Miranda had showed me a ring, and I've been really fortunate that I've worked with Miranda now several times.
Right.
And just, like, I could not...
Yeah.
My mind was blown. I remember walking away and being like, did that just happen?
But also,
like,
I mean, but it's like you said too, though, Amy, it's being here.
Yeah.
You know, you're in the circle, you know, if you put yourself in a space to where you can succeed.
Yeah.
And where you can work with the A-listers, as you have done, then that's the difference. And from a distance, you can't do it. And even if you drop in once a month or, you know, a few times a year, it's not enough. You know, I had a friend of mine who moved here from LA, and we were working a big event deal and all this stuff. And he's like introducing himself. Oh yeah, I'm from LA. I'm like, no, you're not. You're from Nashville now. Yeah, it's like, because, you know, because I know when I moved here from Las Vegas, it's like going, oh, we're not Nash Vegas. It's like, didn't think you were. It's like, you know, and so when you're in Nashville, you're from Nashville.
Yeah.
And you're Nashville based. And I think,
even with this accent.
yeah, but you are. But I mean, it's the truth. Yeah. I mean, but
you're right.
But, you know, when you're here because people know you.
Yeah.
You know, even though born and raised in the UK, they know you as Nashville now.
Yeah.
And so you're in that circle.
And because you see people constantly. I mean, like you said, you know, just seeing people in the supermarket and
right.
There is no downtime of not running into someone. No. And it's a big town, but it's a very small circle of people.
And
really.
And we all go to. I mean, I'll bump into people at Home Depot. Right. It's like, you know, and I'm just in buying a piece of wood or some glue or tape or something. It's like going, hey, you know, it's like, because they're doing the same things as us.
Because they're human.
They are, and they're doing home repairs, and they're going to restaurants, and you know, it's. But I think that's what I love about Nashville is that it feels like a community, and there's not the ego and pretense. You know, I've been very fortunate. I would say 99.9% of my interviews I've done for the Rock and Review, no ego. Everybody is just coming in, and I've sort of gotten to the point too, and you're going to laugh, to where. Now I think I'm going to start chasing people that hate interviews, because I've really been able to do pretty well. My record's been pretty good so far to have people that, you know, like I've had Billy Bob Thornton on and Stuart Copeland and Colin Hay and a few people that they said that they hate interviews. And we had great interviews. I'm like, okay, well now, you know, I want Andy Summers from the Police.
Challenge accepted.
Challenge accepted. It's like going, now I want to go out and get the people, you know, because I think a lot of it, like you and I were talking earlier, Amy, it's how they're approached.
Yes. Yeah.
And if you know, even if it's a major film star like, you know, Keanu Reeves, but you're interviewing him about his band and his bass playing, you probably don't want to sit down and go, you know, in that last Matrix.
Right.
Probably not what he's looking to talk about.
You need to find that balance of like.
It's like, know your lane. Mm-hmm. And I think when you approach artists, and especially, you know, just like you and I both do, to where finding out about their hobbies or whatever like that, I always think it's interesting. It's interesting to me. And once again, they enjoy talking about it. Like years ago when I interviewed Charlie Pride, and Charlie was fine with talking about his music and his album, and was very humble, would not take the credit for being the groundbreaking country artist he was. But man, you start talking baseball. And Charlie was on because, you know, because he owned the baseball team. And it's like going, well, you know, I'm going down to practice and all this stuff. That is so, I mean, they catch on fire.
Yeah, yeah.
Because that's what they're passionate about. And I think those are the fun things with the interviews. And to make them comfortable. You don't want them to be uncomfortable.
100%.
Yeah.
Because they're awkward, right? Having to sit down and just talk. There's nothing, I mean, and I do photography as well. And it's the same thing if I'm doing like a photo shoot.
Right.
No one is really comfortable standing in front of a camera.
I hate having my picture taken.
So I normally, like, I'll end up having a conversation and just talking. We do like some stupid photos because I might just relax, right? Like,
if I can hold a guitar, I always feel better. It's kind of like the sunglasses from Big Daddy with Adam Sandler. As long as give me a guitar,
and you're fine.
But it's like, and I don't mind video, and I certainly don't mind audio and all that stuff. But I don't know, something about still photos, I always feel stupid. And so it's like
it's a weird medium, like
It's like, I think the only way is to do it to catch, you know, an action moment or something like that. And that's why I always like it too when I, like from the TV interviews with the PR people come along and they're taking like behind the scenes, those always turn out better.
Yeah.
You know, because everybody's natural.
Yeah, everyone's just in their element.
And you're ignoring the camera.
Yes.
I think, you know, and I've had some artists on the show too, to where, you know, they come in and they'll play sold out stadiums, but you put them in front of all the lights and the video cameras, and they like freeze up. It's like, oh, please don't give me one-word answers.
Right.
This is not the Eric Dahl interview.
And I've seen a couple of like bigger artists when I've been in. There's a couple of times when I've been in media rooms, and they have done just that, and it's been like someone's asked this question, and it's like, yes.
It just hurts.
There's nothing.
It just hurts. It just hurts.
You can't even follow up from that.
No.
Like, okay. And like in your mind, you're like, well, this question is going to be, there's going to be a good 20 seconds of someone talking about this.
Right.
And then we can follow up from whatever they say. And then all of a sudden it's like flat lines.
Yeah. And that's what I always, before I take like an artist in the studio there at the TV station, I'll meet with them in the office, and it's like going, kind of tell them how we're going to do it, It's like, I'm your opening band. Mm-hmm. You're the headliner. And then it's like, and then I'm going to throw softballs at you, and you're going to hit home runs. And then I'll wrap us up at the end of the inning, and that's it.
That's it.
But I mean, I think they appreciate that because, in some interviewers, unfortunately, and reporters try and make it about them. And it's like, bless your heart. It's not about you. Also, I had to learn that when I moved here, because when I first moved here, they'd say, bless your heart. I'm like, that is so sweet. And people are like going, it's not sweet, Eric. It's like going, and then you learn that you can say something horrible about somebody. And as long as you say, bless your heart,
you're good.
I'm like going,
I haven't quite adopted that one yet.
No, but I mean, because to me, I thought they were just being earnest and going, that is so sweet. It's like, no, it's not, Eric.
Yeah. That's funny.
It's the things you learn.
You're like, all those times.
Yeah, you learn in Nashville to go, it's like, that's not a positive,
That's funny.
Yeah. And also with the accents here too sometimes, because, just like with your accent and with my accent, being raised in Missouri, having a very Midwestern accent, and this like some of the people particularly in the outer areas of Tennessee have the really Southern accents. And when you say, it's like, well, we live here in Tennessee, it's like, we're from Nashville. Oh, you're not from Nashville. Right.
No. I have a friend from Murfreesboro. Might be the countryest person that I know. Love her to pieces. But I feel like when I first moved, like most of the accents I heard, because it's kind of diluted here.
Right.
You might hear like a Southern accent, but it's not like Southern. There's a twang and I can hear it. Mm-hmm. But I mean, you go out into
Yeah, it gets thick. I've had viewers call the TV station before, and it's like, I almost need a translator. It's like going, wow, I really wish it was printed out on the screen.
I was speaking to someone the other day, and I was working, and they said something to me, and I was just like, oh, I'm so sorry. Like, I didn't catch it. They said it 3 times, and I was like, I can't. I was like, I am so sorry. I'm going to go get someone else. Because I couldn't, and I was trying to listen.
I've been there.
As intently as I could, but it was like the strongest Southern drawl, and it was kind of like that old like mumbling.
Right, and it's almost like there's no air in between words.
Yeah, and I just was like
one word.
I don't think I even caught one thing. And I felt so horrible because I was like, I don't want to ask you to say this again. I'm like, I'm just going to see if someone else can.
And you feel like we're the bad people because like, I'm not getting this at all. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's just crazy. But it's a fun city, and with the food and with the music and the culture, it's like
there's so much
just a little bit of everything.
And that's the fun part as well of, working in media, for you doing the TV, doing the write-up stuff.
Right.
There's so much.
There is.
There's so much to grab onto.
It's never boring.
Never.
It's like there's always some show, some artist to go see. And I know you're the same as me. I get invited to a lot. And I would love to go to every one, but I can't.
It's just,
and
we need to sleep at some point.
I know, right? And it's like, and sometimes you just want to go home, go to the gym, and have a meal at the house, and turn on the Netflix.
And then just be done.
Yeah, because it's like you're go, go, go. And I love it. I love the go, go, go. And just like, talking about you with the crazy CMA Fest, but then you come off that, and it's like going, what just happened?
I don't know.
Yeah, and then you got to go.
You
got to go back through all your footage and all your audio and go, wow, somebody's got to edit this. Oh, it's me.
Oh, yeah, that was... The one-man band sounded great when I started this.
That's a great idea. All the money.
Right? Just me, myself, and I. This is fun.
Oh, you get it home. No, that's with me on the, it's with the show prep and with the articles. It's like, wow, your people help out with this. There's no people.
I am my people.
Yeah. Luckily, in TV, at least, I have producers that, they shoot it and edit it down for like the TV piece.
For everything else.
And then, but all the prep, I mean... and I listen to the music just like you do, and I enjoy that. To me, that's kind of the fun thing in Nashville too, to where we get to hear the music before it releases.
Yeah.
It's like
inside scoop all the time.
And it's like going, and it's embargoed. It's like, of course it's embargoed. Who am I going to share it with? But it's like, it's so cool that before it hits the radio and the social, streaming platforms, we get to hear it and give our take.
And you're probably in the same boat that at this point you normally know someone who's been involved with it as well. And it's just nice because then you listen to it and you're like, oh, like so-and-so did this or I did that. And then you can... And
everything here in Nashville is kind of like the 6 degrees of Kevin Bacon. It's like somebody is either played in the studio band, is one of the writers, did the artwork for the cover, something.
I'm pretty sure we're probably 2 degrees away. Is it? Wait, we're 1 degree away, right?
Yeah, totally. Yeah.
So we're 2 degrees away from probably everyone in Nashville. Yes. I would imagine there's probably no.
And it's crazy. It's crazy when you think about that, and with the artists and the incredible songwriters here, and that we get to do shows and have them on, and showcase them.
Yeah.
I think the hardest thing I'm having right now, and I'm sure you are too, is that I have so many that want to come on the show, and I can't fit them all on. So now I've had to start turning down artists, and it's
never a bad problem to have.
No, but it feels bad because I feel bad.
Because then you have to pick and choose.
You do,
them, and they know
it's like
they know that
children.
They're the ones you're turning down.
Yeah, but it's like, but somebody, you can't get them all on.
Especially when, like, obviously a lot of people want to come on because they have something to promote at the time. So it's like, well, actually, if we can't get you on now, they don't necessarily have any interest in coming on a month down the line.
Nope.
Because like now is when we want to.
It's like that window of time.
Yeah.
Well, it's like the John Bon Jovi thing, to where it's like going.
I like John Bovi.
Yeah, I like that could be a good thing. Mm-hmm. But it's like, it's like that was the window.
Yeah.
Because everything was happening at once. Because JBJ Nashville opening, the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame exhibit, the brand new album Forever, all this stuff at once with John and the band.
And this is when they need the coverage, is right now.
And that's it. And there's no other opportunity. But also it's like, I know you experienced it, Dora. And I always love going after, I have my wish list of artists that I haven't gotten on the show yet, even after 12 years. And it's like going, and I get so many no's. But then somebody will say yes, or then when they start pursuing you, going, Amy, can you have us on the show? And it's like going, well, that's kind of nice for a change.
You know what? I'm going to leave them hanging for a couple of days.
I feel like I should actually do that too, to where like I change my voice, when I answer the phone, going, hello, this is Eric's assistant. He can't take it right now. Can it? It's like something like that. And same thing in the email. It's like, I'm Cindy. Yeah. I'll get this back to Eric. because I think it's so odd to them going, it's like, well, who's doing the interview? Me. I'm the one emailing you. I'm doing the interview.
No,
because there's no extra people. There's no. It's like going, hey,
we wish there was extra people.
Hand me that thing when it's all done, the folder with all the research, and I'll do the interview. Yeah. No, we're doing it.
This is it.
I'm staying up an hour before, late night to prep, and then prepping again in the morning, and then doing the interview.
And then here we are. Yeah.
But I mean, it's a rush. It's pure adrenaline. Mm-hmm. I'm sure it's the same for you. It feels like to me when I'm doing an interview. Like if we're talking to you about your songwriting, getting back into music, your Gibson Emmylou Harris, it goes by like in minutes.
Right. And then all of a sudden... Yeah.
Because I find talking about you a lot more interesting than talking about me.
Well, unfortunately, today...
Oh, you're so clever with that. I see what you've done. Yeah, bless my heart. Right?
That's it. I still can't say that authentically. Sounds weird.
I don't anymore since I found out it's bad.
Oh, what did you used to say? She thought it was good.
Yes, I thought little old women were being so kind until one of my buddies like going, that's not they don't mean it the way you're taking it.
That's fine. The only thing I think I've picked up, I do say y'all sometimes.
Yeah.
But I'll say it like in a sentence, and so it doesn't sound weird, because I feel like if I tried to do it like standalone, it would be odd.
And there's certain things too, like sweet tea and hot chicken and different things. To where it's, there's things that are very Nashville, to where I don't realize that until I go somewhere else again.
Right. Yeah.
And then you realize it's like,
oh wait, this is a thing that we just do here. This is.
There is. I mean, but it's cool. That's the fun of it. I mean, for you and I both. I mean, with your show and with both of us being able to do shows and chase our passion and maybe introduce people to artists and people that they don't know about.
Like that is the goal, right? Is to, for me, I love music. It will never not be part of my life, and to be able to have the opportunity to showcase everyone that's behind the industry, you know, from the artists to people like you who are also doing the shows, who are writing the books, you know. Like, it's so important. It's so important.
And as we both know, nobody's just going to walk up and tell you that at Starbucks.
No.
They may get their latte with, you know, 3 shots of caramel next to you, but they're not going to say, oh, by the way, I've got a Grammy Award-winning record also, Amy.
They always, right.
Which could be the person in line with you, you know, could have written, you know, all the songs for, you know, George Strait or something. It's like
they always need a wingman.
Yeah.
You need that someone that's going to be like, oh, but did you know they did this? Yeah.
And thank goodness there are those people.
Yeah.
Because with some of the things that I've been here, like over in RCA Studio A, you know, and stuff, and to where I'll be talking with somebody, I have no idea. And then one of my buddies will come going, yeah, that's the guy that wrote all the songs for Tim McGraw. Oh, okay, good to know. Thank you. Because you don't know. No. You know the name.
Like, it's not like people are walking around with billboards. Or,
right.
You know, they're...
Yeah, to where it's like, hey, I wrote these songs, and, you know, I did all this stuff, and you don't know.
And for most people, it's like, oh, yeah, well, I did that, but then so did all these other people.
Right.
And I think that's where that kind of humbling thing comes in.
Yeah.
But I love being able to get that out, as you know, as do you.
Yeah, it's a passion. I think that's why we keep doing it. I mean, besides the huge money, I think it's also clearly, you know.
I'm just gonna leave here, go get in my Bentley, and
it's like the Spotify money. Well, my driver's gonna be waiting for me, and I hope he or she is ready to pick me up. But yeah, I mean, but you know, but once again, if we didn't do it, who then?
Exactly.
You know, and I think that, you know, you and I approach the interviews and the artists the same way, and plus coming as musicians, I think it gives a deeper appreciation for it.
It's when you have like a little more info, not, you know, I'm never going to sit here, I do not know everything, far from it, but I do feel like I've got kind of a well-rounded knowledge, and I feel like that makes, you know, you seem like it's the same thing.
Right.
It makes it a lot easier when you're talking to people, because you can bounce off those questions a little more and like pick up different things.
And it's not just surface level.
No.
It's not just, you know, once again, I can't remember the young lady's name, but I was at an interview with a country music legend one time, and we got done. I'm breaking down with the guys, and so she's up there interviewing him, and she goes, well, on your last album, and he goes, that wasn't the last album. And she goes, and then on your new album, not the new album. And so he finally goes, did you listen to any of the songs that my PR people sent you on this new album? She goes, well, no, I really didn't have the time. And I'm telling my guys, go. We got to get out of here. We got to get like going. It's like you can feel the train wreck. And it's like, and I always say, it's like, I never want to be that person.
Yeah.
Because to me, you know, whether it's a songwriter, whether it's an up and comer, whether it's Dolly Parton, an A-lister, or whomever, they're giving of their time to us.
100%.
We must do
thing, right.
We must do the preparation for them as well,
rather than just roll in. And, I mean, and I'm sure there are times where I don't get everything, but I'm like, as long as I've got a solid like platform base to start with, but then that also, you know, I say the way that we both kind of approach interviews.
It's conversations.
Because I feel there is always going to be little things that you'll find out, or stuff that hasn't been sent through that you've.
And that's always the fun for me.
It is, right.
Especially when you get to go digging. You know, like the artist I had on this morning, and like I had Peter Frampton on one time, and I went digging, and it's like, and just to bring up something about his banjo-lele that he found in the attic at his grandma's house that started him playing guitar, and then Peter leans over and goes, like, how do you know that? It's like going,
I mean,
right? But I mean, that's the fun of it, because 100%. Everybody's like going, oh, Frampton Live, you know, and your Les Paul that went down on the airplane. Right. It's like, okay, you know the obvious.
Right. We've all heard these stories. And don't get me wrong, is it still fun hearing them? Sure. Yeah. But we've all heard them, you know,
it's cool to come up with an interesting nugget that wasn't brought up before.
100%.
You know, whether that's the little dog or, you know, the cat, or, you know, that they go fishing. Something unique that is them. Yeah. And it's not everybody else.
100%. So you've got your book that you're working on, your Jerry Reed book.
Yep.
Do you have a timeline as to at least when you feel like you want it finished? I know that almost certainly is.
I would have loved to have it finished this year. I'm going to say it's probably going to be next year. My daughter's going to college at Florida Gulf Coast to study forensics, which is kind of scary. I guess, you know, in case something bad happens to me, she'll figure it out. But yeah, so I'm really hoping I can double down and start working on the book and getting more of these interviews, because I've got a list. And the problem is, that, as Jerry passed away, years ago, a lot of his contemporaries have passed away.
Right.
Burt Reynolds and a number of these people that I was going to interview. So my list is getting more narrow, and I got to get them in now.
Yeah, you've got that time frame.
Right.
You do have.
It's almost like you're against the clock. And so, and Charlie McCoy is one of them too.
Yeah.
So Charlie sent me a picture of him and Jerry playing back during the fanfare days and playing baseball together.
Oh, very cool.
And so I have to send you that picture, but it's like that's why I want to get those people to where, talking about Jerry from knowing him, because I know him from his music.
Yeah, there's only so much as an outside party that you can write.
And I think also talking with his daughters and certainly, there's so much that the average person doesn't know, like his songs that Elvis Presley recorded and that they had to go get him to play on Guitar Man. And so it's like all this wealth of knowledge that people just don't know about Jerry. And so I want to be able to put that out there. So at least historically there's something.
Right.
And so that's, I think my niche with books is like underdogs, because like when I was pitching the B.B. King book, it's like the first 3 publishers I pitched it to said, yeah, that's a cute little story. B.B. King's not a big enough name. I'm like, okay. And then luckily 2 publishers wanted it then. But I think it's going to be kind of like with Jerry Reed, to where it's, people know Jerry Reed, and certainly we do living here in Nashville, but people don't know like the wealth of music and songwriting. And so I'm going to have to really make it, a unique story, to embody all, as much as I can of his life story.
I love it. Well, I will be reading it.
Well, I'm excited about it.
You've got
it's like,
at least one sale.
Awesome. It's like, it's always funny too, to when you do little book signings. And it's like, it felt so odd to me the first time I did that, to where I'm like signing my book. And it's like, and that people wanted a signed book. I'm like, okay, well, I live on the west side in Bellevue. I'm not a big deal, It's like I go to the same Starbucks you do, but it feels good to have, an accomplishment like that. And it's so funny that to where people, it's like Eric Dahl, published author. It's like, I don't know.
It's like what we were talking about. You're like, well, someone else has done.
Somebody else has done a lot more books than me. I mean, especially here.
This is Nashville. This is.
But I mean, you look at people like Don Cusick and so many people, with Curb Records that have written books and books and books.
Yeah, but it doesn't matter whether you've written 1 or you've written 10. It's like it is an achievement. Most people haven't written any.
And it's fun. I think it's you really have. It's fun to do the research, and once again, like your interviews and my interviews, it's fun to showcase an artist or a band and hopefully find stories that people didn't know before. And that's my goal with Jerry, to really do that and really interview some of these people like Ray and pin them down on some cool stories. Oh my gosh. I may have to edit some of those with Ray. If I get Ray off on the side and he speaks freely, it should be some fun interviews about Jerry Reed. But I'm looking forward to it, and I appreciate the daughters allowing me the opportunity.
That's awesome, and that says a lot about you, though. Like, give yourself credit for that, because the fact that they would reach out or give.
Because I wouldn't do it without their approval. Just like I wouldn't have written the B.B. King book without Mr. King giving me permission, because I don't know, that's feels a little dirty.
Yeah, no, that's fair.
I think that, if you're going to do things on the high road, you want to do it.
Right. But then again, that also goes back to that mutual respect.
Right.
Right.
And then, because I've already got other books, I've already got some other artists going, hey, when you finish with that one, you want to work on mine? I'm like,
let's go.
Geez, I got to get this done first. It's like, it's time.
That's right. Just put it in AI, or you'll be done in.
Oh my gosh, right. Yeah. It's like, no. We're not doing that. And we've still got to get together and songwrite together and do some jamming too.
I'm down.
And I want to see your guitar.
I'm down.
I'll show you my guitars. Yeah, I got a couple nice ones.
I bet. I bet. I'm saving up. I'm saving up for my other nice ones.
I've got a Jerry Reed guitar being built by Mel McCullough, and so I'm going to get that in July. And so it's like the one that Jerry took the hacksaw to where he was jamming with some friends and couldn't get all the way at the neck of the guitar. So he took a hacksaw and sawed out a chunk of the guitar.
That's funny. And
so once again, just a fun.
Right. Little.
Yeah. And so I'm going to use that as my muse.
There you go. That's awesome.
Uh-huh.
Well, I'm going to link to like your website and everything, so where people can go buy your books.
Thank you.
They can check out the TV stuff, and we will make sure that people do go check it out and go buy the books. Money, guys, because otherwise he won't be able to afford his guitars.
Which I always need one more guitar. I think the most flattering thing with the B.B. King book was when a collector from England, reached out to me and said, which Lucille do I have on it? It's like going, oh man, that feels good.
That's awesome.
Then your research and
it's
your
paid
work
off. And that for one person to be like,
it makes it feel good, and also that more people know about BB King and his instruments, and even with Gibson right here in our city, to where if they're not sure what Lucille they have, they call me and go, it's like,
wow.
what model do we have? Because all the people that made the Lucilles are gone.
Right. But you did so much research into getting the book out. That's really awesome.
Yeah, it's fun. It's, once again, passion projects.
Yeah.
So, but
they're always the best, right? Because you're going to work that much harder at them because you're so passionate about it.
Yeah.
And no one is going to work harder on your passion than you.
No, and I think it shows in what we do, just like with your show as well, to where, artists want to come on and share with you and come back.
Yeah.
And I think that's always the best thing. It's like going, if they come, on the show once, it's like, okay. But if they say, hey, we'd like to come back on, it's like, oh, yeah.
Nailed it.
That's a win.
That's it, right?
So, but I really appreciate you having me on, Amy.
Thank you so much. Guys, we're going to be back next week with another episode of Sippin On Country. But for now, Eric Dahl, thank you so much.
Thank you so much, Amy. I love the show, and thanks for having me on.
Recorded at 2300 Studios in Nashville, Tennessee. Original theme music by Gary Wood.